Right. You can do, Jason. Up to you. Yeah, send the link on. The more the merrier, really. I think we'll make a start.
Yeah.
Count to 10 and then we'll make a start. Right. Okay. We'll make a start anyway. Anyone who can join throughout. So I suppose morning everyone. Welcome to the Cosmos webinar. I think I know everyone in here, so it's good to see some familiar faces. Happy New Year to those who I haven't spoken to yet. I would say for those of you who don't know me, but you all know me. So I'm James Borden. I'm the sales and account manager here at Sci-Net. And with me today, I have Fiona and Rob from Cosmos, who I'll pass over to in a second. In this webinar, we'll be or Fiona and Rob will be sort of showing you who Cosmos are and how they can help you with your Business Central reporting. Rob will take you through a demonstration, and then obviously we'll have a Q&A session at the end if you have any questions. You're very welcome to ask any questions throughout the webinar. Just pop them into the chat below, and we'll make sure these are answered at the end. But I think if we have no questions now, I think without further ado, I'll hand over to you, Fiona.
Lovely. Thank you, James. And hi, everybody. Thank you for joining our joint webinar today to introduce you to Cosmos, the first and only cloud reporting and analytics solution built specifically for Microsoft Business Central SaaS. But before we go into product, and before I just give a bit of a touch on a few slides, just to give you a bit of an insight before we do touch into the demo, a little bit intro from Rob and I. So Rob and I have been working in the Microsoft Dynamics, NAV and Business Central industry collectively for a good over 30 years. But what Rob, both and I do have is a passion for reporting and analytics after successfully running the UK Jet subsidiary a few years ago. And it was really with the Dynamics market and the shift very much moving to Business Central Cloud and actually those challenges that we were seeing with the current reporting solutions on the market, though being on-prem and without sort of a clear roadmap. We really saw there an exciting opportunity to bring Cosmos to the UK Business Central market and actually become the exclusive distributors for the UK and Ireland back last year. So just to give you a bit of a background on our partnership, we have been working with Duncan Ferguson and the wider Sci-Net team with James and Jenny for over 16 years now. So we go back a long way. And it was, I think it was Sci-Net's original boardroom, I can safely say, did not look like anything like this one that they do have now, which you can see on the right. I think I had to fight against a few spiders to get a seat in their last boardroom. So I think this really just shows, our commitment and how we've been working with Sci-Net. I think the really important thing is to highlight that, even during Microsoft days and Jet and now through today, Sci-Net have really always shown a true commitment and exceptional service to their customers. And this is why it's such a joy to be partnered with them and to bring you and their customers innovative value-add solutions to the market. But just to give you a bit, who is Cosmos? So as I mentioned, Cosmos is a cloud reporting and analytics solution built specifically from the ground up for Business Central. And it was actually founded by three of our old ex-veterans in the industry over in the US. And they really saw an opportunity to bring a modern, easy to use, and most importantly, a very fast reporting and analytics solution for business cloud customers. Cosmos is one of the fastest growing Business Central independent software vendors on the market now. And compared to other Excel reporting solutions, Cosmos holds 100% customer retention. So this is what we really believe offers reassurance for any business looking for a reporting and analytics solution for their SaaS environment. So before we jump into the demo with Rob, I just wanted to really give you all a bit of a 4 slides differentiators on the why, really to sort of where our mantra is and why customers we see today are choosing Cosmos as their go-to reporting and analytics solution. So let's start with the lightning fast. Yeah, this is one of our first pillars, and it is really where Cosmos has become an industry leader in the market for Business Central reporting, because we are actually 48 times faster than other Excel reporting tools. And that is purely because we are a cloud solution and we sit on top of Microsoft Azure. This means that the opportunity for users to run multiple reports across multiple dimensions, multiple companies, all simultaneously and all at speed is obviously one of the really things too important to highlight here to you. And Rob will certainly show you what that speed of reporting will be in the demo. And Cosmos will not lock any user out of Excel when you are running any report. We know that there's other solutions out there that do this, but you'll be pleased to hear that productivity and also frustration is taken away because users can keep running the reports at the speed of lightning, and it doesn't matter if it's 1 report or even 300, the whole speed is exactly the same. And once we're on the speed element, I guess another benefit of Cosmos, especially for anyone here on the call who manages their organization's IT systems, is that Cosmos is a modern office add-in. And this means that Cosmos as add-in is automatically rolled out to all users. And it doesn't really matter if they're on Excel online, if they're on Excel desktop, or even if you have Mac users in the business. This is all automatic and all delivered via the Microsoft Admin Center. So your IT team, I think your IT team will be very happy to learn their time is also going to be freed up, as there's going to be no more manual machine installs or updates when you actually use Cosmos. Now, the second pillar, I say, is the major differentiator. As I mentioned, it's a cloud solution. All users will simply log in to them with their Microsoft credentials within a browser, and they'll spend the majority of their time in the Cosmos portal, which what we like to call is our central solar system. And this is a complete cloud interface. And it is within this portal that users can securely access all their reports and Power BI dashboard literally anytime, anywhere, and on any device. And this also comes with complete version control. So for any businesses who are about to move or have fully moved to the cloud, you're looking to migrate, there is no more worries about the on-prem solutions, separate logins, associated costs. You literally simply log in via the browser. And Rob's going to show you shortly the simplicity and ease of use of managing users' permissions for admin license users. And then we'll finally have a quick look on the data engine in the demo today to see how you would be able to access your own partner's IP, alongside how we will transform the data to make it really accessible for all your users. Now, the third pillar, and who doesn't love a successful turnkey solution? Everybody wants to be up at the speed of lightning. Everybody wants their data from immediate effect. And Cosmos is a true turnkey solution. Your users can be up and running and reporting on their business data all within 30 minutes, or in fact, sometimes less. And that is because Cosmos is a solution that's built specifically for business users and not technical experts, thanks to our pre-built data model for Business Central. This means all that hard lifting has been done for you. No more challenges around understanding where that raw data lives to build any of the reports. So ultimately, this becomes very much a win-win for your users today. Plus, we now live in a world, don't we, where we all want simplicity, accessibility as fast as we can. And so with Cosmos, we can have 30 pre-built out-of-the-box reports, all fully customizable, and will report on your data all within that 30 minutes, as I said, alongside self-serve free training. And we've got a very exciting AI bot called Captain Cosmos that Rob will show you. And the final pillar, before we jump in with Rob, is around the Power BI. Now, we and Cosmos offers a two-way integration with Power BI. And this is accessed again within the Cosmos portal. So users don't have to go anywhere else. They can literally be able to access their Power BI dashboard and their Excel dashboard all within one portal. And we know Power BI is a really amazing visualization tool, but we also understand that many users struggle to report from it, as you do need to have an understanding of where that raw Business Central tables live, where that data lives. So as you keep hearing me saying, to keep things simple, it's all about Cosmos offering this Power BI integration to give exactly that data model that those Excel users within your business will use. So this means Power BI becomes very, very simple to use, very user-friendly, and allows your users to quickly create, edit, and also view those critical dashboards to ensure that your business really does have that important one source of the truth. So what I'm going to do is pass over to Rob, and he's going to show you everything that I've just touched on. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you very much, Fiona. So I've got the pleasure of doing the live demo for everyone for Cosmos, just to prove that everything that Fiona said is of course true. So everything with Cosmos and the Cosmos portal, our solar system, as Fiona described it, is in a web browser. So everything is delivered as a SaaS solution, very much like Business Central SaaS. And when we log in, we just authenticate with our Microsoft Azure credentials. And because I'm an administrator, I jump straight into the user admin screen. This is really dead simple. So IT administrators will like this, because if I want to add, for instance, a new user, say a light user, we link everything up to your Azure tenant. So if I want to just search for a user, put that user in, you'll see here that the light user now changes to one used up of available 100. And then user roles are just very simple to be able to come in here and just give somebody access to something else. We have two different types of licensed users. Full users are users that are able to actually author Cosmos reports. Light users are able to run and execute reports and to use the drill down function. And then we have service users, so Cosmos or Sci-Net are able to support you. On top of that, the add-in for Excel is a modern Office add-in. This is the admin center from Microsoft, and you can see here at the bottom, this is added as a integrated app. So it's very easily pushed out to a high number of users very, very quickly. And the add-in works exactly the same whether you're in Excel Online or Excel Desktop. Most users, when they first log into Cosmos, come to the reporting section. This is divided up into a couple of areas. At the top, we have the workspace. These are reports that I'm either putting together or editing. And then the report section beneath, these are the reports that are checked in and ready to go. Out of the box, we have a gallery of pre-built reports. For instance, if I look for income statement, I've got here an income statement by global dimension, and I can just import this directly from the report gallery. There's over 30 reports here, from finance reports, sales, purchase, inventory reports, etc. And then after that, I can just very simply find the report, press the play button. It gives me an opportunity to change the date range or to use the drill down, and then I can just run and execute the report. All report execution takes place on the Azure services, as Fiona described. So none of this will slow down the Excel on your local machines. We open up the result of the report as well in Excel Online, but equally you can download that to the desktop version if you prefer. And I can just open the report up here, and this is the one of the out-of-the-box reports. It basically is an income statement that lists out the categories, accounts, and then it splits out all of the dimensions across in columns. But Cosmos, what I'll show you, I'll design a report in a second, also is able to split information out by sheet as well. If I want to go in to look at the transactions that are beneath this, I would just open up the Cosmos task pane. This opens up a viewing tab, and then I can run a drill down report to basically go and see all of the transactions that sit beneath this particular item. So these are the detailed transactions that basically sit behind that particular item. So let's go back to the Cosmos portal because I think everybody really wants to see an actual report being built. So I'll do this and just call this webinar, and I can either check this out in Excel desktop. The default is Excel online. The experience is identical in either place. So this will just build the framework of a report for me, and then we'll use the Cosmos add-in in a second. So this report is going to be a sales report. So we'll do a sales by salesperson report. And what I'll do just to begin with is just to use Excel to build the actual framework of the report, how I want things to look, and then we'll use Cosmos to basically fill in the gaps with our Business Central data. So the idea of this report is that we have a sheet per salesperson. So we're going to build out multiple Excel sheets. We are going to list out all of the customers per salesperson. So I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, which is never good for me. And then we're going to build out all of the months for a year across in columns, and then we'll show the total sales for each month and customer, and then total sales at the bottom. So quite a lot going on here, but Cosmos doesn't really worry about what the actual data is. It could be sales data, financial data. The principles of all of this report design experience are exactly the same. So if I come here to the Cosmos task pane, this is our modern Office add-in. Very simple. We have 7 different design tools here, so very compact. And also we have, as Fiona said, the chatbot inside the product as well. So all of our learning content is completely free of charge. Very important to note. So if I say here, for instance, how do I add filters? Captain Cosmos will go off and it scrapes our knowledge base and then returns a suggestion for an article. There are over 300 articles with short videos, walkthroughs of the process, and all of this is free of charge for anybody. It's completely open gated. There's a lot of effort that's been put into that to make the product accessible for business users. But let's go through and actually build the report itself. Report options is where we give a user an opportunity to add a filter at the beginning. So let's just say we want the user to choose a specific year. We can just add a year, and then we can just put in here a default setting if we want, or we could leave that blank without a default, but the user would be forced to enter something. But that's it. That's the process of adding an option such that the report will now prompt for a year to be added at the report execution time. This function here called sheet list. This is where we build out our worksheets, and as mentioned, we'll build out a worksheet for each salesperson that we've sold to. So under sales transactions, we've got a salesperson code. We'll add the salesperson code, and then we just press save. Simple as that. Next, we are going to list out our customers on the sheet in this direction, and this is called a range list. So we first choose the range from left to right, just come to range lists, and then we press new. This time it's going to be the customer that we're interested in. This list, incidentally, of tables that you're seeing, this is the Cosmos data model. This is not the raw Business Central tables. They're quite complex and difficult to understand. So all of this data has been prepared, so we're able to use it in a much simpler fashion. So if we come and search for customers, I can choose sell to or bill to customer number, and I'll just choose this one. And everything links up automatically. So because I've added a sheets function, this is automatically filtered by salesperson code. It's automatically filtered by the date options that I've put at the beginning of the report. So Cosmos is doing a lot of the linking together of all of these things so the user doesn't have to. So this drops in the sell to customer number, and this range from left to right will be repeated down the page for every customer that's returned. Field lookups. This is used for filling in some individual information. So if I want the customer name, I will come to sell to customer. All these tables are linked together automatically in the data model, and then we drop in the customer name. City, I can just search for that again and drop that in, and Cosmos will always move across to the next field for me. So you can do this for as many fields as you like in the report. Now for the months, I'm going to build out another range list. Range lists work in both directions. They work either in rows or columns. So in this instance, I'm going to build out a column per month. So I'll use this here in my date table, which is month year. So for instance, this would be Jan 2022 or whatever the month is. I need to sort this in by something else because it's alphabetical. So we'll sort it in the order of date. But that's pretty much what we need to do there. And then finally, in the report, we need to include an aggregate, the total amount for our sales. So I'm just showing you like an example of quite a few of the design tools that we've got. I can't show you everything in the time that we've got. But here you've got the ability to aggregate by counting records, unique values. In this instance, we're going to sum up the sales. And then I can just use Excel to do any final formatting. So I'll choose currency here, and then I can just use Excel to total everything up for me. And that's pretty much the report built. Just finish off with a bit of formatting, and then we'll import the report, and then we'll execute this and just show you the result. So because I'm working in Excel Online, once I've finished, I can just close down the report, come back to the Cosmos portal. If I just search again for the webinar report is here, and we can just check the report in. This takes a couple of seconds, and then once that's done, then it's ready for execution. So if I press the play button, this is our year filter that we had. So this is the opportunity to choose a different year if we wish. And again, all the report execution is taking place on the Cosmos resources. And what's interesting here is that the report is actually split up into worksheets that are processed in parallel. So whether you've got 7 or 8 salespeople or 100 salespeople, the report will execute in pretty much the same time. Equally so, if more than one person executes a report concurrently on the Cosmos resources, because we're relying on Azure services, they scale up and down accordingly. So we've got the right amount of resources available to us regardless of what's being run. So you can see here that I've got one sheet per salesperson. We've listed out the customers, the months in columns, and then we're showing our total sales. So hopefully this gives you an example of some of the report design experience. This is quite a straightforward report. We're able to group reports, nest reports, that type of thing. But let's return back to the Cosmos portal and look at a couple of other features. So one important thing is security. If we come to this section, we can give the person that we added at the beginning as a light user the access to this report now, and then just press save. So now if Alice was to log into the Cosmos portal, this is the report that she'll see, and she's able to run and execute the report, but she may not be able to change the design of the report as a light user, but she would be able to use things like drill down functions and that type of thing. It may be required also to schedule and distribute the report. So if you want to add the report onto a specific day, a specific time that you want to run the report, and also the report can be attached to an email and sent out as an attachment. You don't even need to be a Cosmos user in order to be a recipient of a report that comes out on a schedule. You'll just get a regular Excel attachment. And then finally, if I choose the, well, in fact, we can do it for this report. If I look into the history and look at the recent runs, if ever you've got a reason to keep a report permanently, you can archive the report, and I can just write a message on there, permanent copy, and press archive, and then this report is a snapshot that's shared with everybody that the report is shared with, and everybody can access the messages that have been put here. So hopefully things are looking pretty straightforward for you. All of this is possible because of the Cosmos data model. I'm just going to sort of dive into this to explain at a high level. In the manage section, under data sources, we've got our Business Central data source. We can connect to one Business Central environment or multiple Business Central environments, and we can choose multiple companies to pull the data from Business Central into the Cosmos data model. In the staging section, just need this to refresh for a second. This is where we choose the data that we are extracting from Business Central. Business Central has got a whole ton of tables and fields, so we don't need everything. But take, for instance, here under country region table, these are the specific fields that we're pulling every single time that we refresh the model. Under transformations, you can see here, for instance, under the customer master record table, if you take a look at the country region code, this is just a code that's on the table, but to go and get the country name, we make a lookup to go to the country region table to go and get the country name. So the data is being made a lot more simpler for people to deal with. And in the end, the data model, this is what is pushed out to end users. But what's nice to know is that a lot of the hard work has been done for you. Under sales transactions, for instance, this is one single table in the data model that is actually being fed by quite a large number of raw Business Central tables. So we're doing a lot of work to the data to transform it, to put it into a format that's suitable for reporting and analytics. And then it makes the experience much more easier for users. So because we're introducing things like the relationships between the tables, and that's how the Cosmos report editor links everything together really easily. So now we've got this data model, what we also did was actually expose this information via an API from Cosmos to Power BI. Like Fiona says, Power BI is a great visualization tool, but I can get to all of these same tables inside Power BI. We have some out-of-the-box models. So this is the data model in Power BI, where we have our transaction table in the center for sales in this example, and all of the tables on the outside are our dimension tables. So this is all linked up automatically. And then this allows you to build a dashboard nice and easily by using pre-prepared data. So this gives us a much more of a interactive view of the data. I can come here, for instance, for 2022, choose a salesperson, say Dirk Mendez, and I've sold 10,138,873. If I compare that to the report that we just did and come to Dirk Mendez, I'm already on there, but 10,138,873. So you can see that because I'm using either Excel or Power BI as my front-end presentation tool, but because I'm working with the same data model, the same curated governed data set, it doesn't really matter what I'm using as the front-end reporting tool. The numbers tally up between the two without too much effort. Okay, so it's really accessible for business users. As well as doing that, sorry, if I just jump back to Power BI, what you typically do with Power BI reports once you're finished and ready is to publish them to the Power BI service. So our two-way integration to Power BI allows us to access any Power BI content directly from the Cosmos portal. So this is reading my workspaces from Power BI, and it enables me to access the same Power BI dashboards directly from the Cosmos portal. So we don't leave the Cosmos portal URL. I've got exactly the same experience here using the Power BI filters. So, and typically what you'll find in an organization is that financial people prefer working with data in Excel. You may have senior people within the organization who want much more of a higher view of the data, a more summarized level in a graphical format that they can interact with. So it basically suits both needs. Now all of this is hosted as a service. It's on the Azure platform, integrates directly with Business Central Cloud. And in terms of the data, also one thing I forgot to mention is that we actually access any data within your Business Central environment. So if you've had any extensions that have been written for you by Sci-Net, or if you've got any products that come from AppSource, we can actually access all of this data. So it's fairly straightforward to include and extend the data model. We have a standard data model and our standard suite of reports, but you've got a friendly tool here where it's easy to include with a graphical user interface more tables and fields into your data model that's specific to you. And of course, you're able to report from multiple companies, or indeed, there could be some companies that exist that have multiple environments, so different Business Central environments for different country versions of Business Central, and we can bring all of that data inside one data model, so you've got a clean view of the entire organization. One last thing, this is just focusing on the fact that Cosmos is really heavily developed. New features come out all of the time. We can send this link out, I think, to the participants, but on the Cosmos website, you've got a section here and you can see that there's regular updates with quite a new set of features that are released. This is really good because all of the new features, because this is a cloud product, get pushed out automatically to the end users. So IT administrators don't have to do anything. All the new features basically show up automatically. And there's no maintenance from that perspective to handle for yourselves. So anyway, I feel like I've bombarded maybe everybody with a lot of information. So Fiona, if you want to maybe share your screen again, and then we'll pass over to James, who can ask some questions, hopefully.
Now, before I ask my questions, oh, here we go. Lovely. We've got a question from Gary. Let me just grab that. So Gary said, how often is the model data refreshed?
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so the data model is refreshed automatically overnight every day, but then also on top of that, you have the opportunity to refresh the whole pipeline on demand as well. So typically we see customers like when they're at the end of a month process, that type of thing. If you're posting some journals to finalize your monthly figures, then you can run the pipeline manually, and then the reports, of course, will reflect up-to-date data from Business Central.
And his second question is, any permissions at column or row level?
So the permissions are controlled at the actual report level. So bearing in mind, obviously, we've taken the data from Business Central. So you actually use the report security to decide which reports can be exposed to particular users.
Got any other questions? Anything? I mean, if not, I'm going to start rattling away my questions. So, here we go. Can other data sources be pulled in?
Yeah, so we've got being released very shortly, actually. Other data sources we've got for the Microsoft CRM products. In fact, anything that is on Dataverse, we'll have a connector for Azure SQL, which will be like a catch-all connector, and also a connector for Excel data sources. So if, for instance, you've got budget data that sits in like Excel spreadsheets instead, then it'll be possible to pull that in and to incorporate that into the Cosmos data model. Yes.
Okay, so I think I'll ask a question now. So I think you did touch on this, Rob, but how can Cosmos write reports so quickly in comparison to other reporting tools, let's say like Jet?
Yeah, so I think really, one of the advantages of Cosmos is, what we saw in the past was that when you're designing reports directly against the raw data from Business Central, you've got a lot of work to do in terms of how you associate the tables together, how you prepare the data, and actually, you're repeating a lot of the same processes for every single report that you write. So the approach with Cosmos is, instead of kind of doing that, and I think that business users find that quite difficult to understand, is that you're building a data set and you're building something that's kind of controlled and governed for the organization. So I think there's a lot less scope for mistakes to be made. But because we're working from a concise set of tables that are not the raw Business Central data tables, but is condensed in a certain way, and all of the relationships between those as well. It just makes the whole report writing experience a lot easier, and it allows business users to get a lot more value out of the product as well.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks easy, especially for someone like me, not in the technical field.
Didn't like to say anything, James.
So I think my follow-up question is then, does Cosmos really require knowledge of any coding language to create these reports, or can I just simply just go in like myself and create one?
Yeah, you could. I mean, everything that I've done, I mean, you've got all of the resources that are online as well. So all of our training content is online. It's free of charge. All of the knowledge base articles. If you've got a specific topic, for example, how do you lay a report out? If you want to group reports together or that type of thing, then there's knowledge base articles for pretty much every single topic. But yeah, I mean, everything that I've done, I haven't coded anything basically. So, and even if you're working with the data model, which is more of a one-off exercise for an organization to pull in extra tables, fields, that type of thing, you're doing that in a nice graphical user interface. What's happening when that whole pipeline gets published, all of the scripts, the technical scripts, if you like, are being written in the background, but we're making it as easy as possible for people to do this, without any real technical knowledge.
Perfect. Have we got a question that's just come in? Can you group reports by department and share at that level?
Yeah, so you sharing is actually done at the moment individually per user, because that's the way that we actually license the product. What you've seen is, like, for instance, where I ran a report and the report actually processed per salesperson, but then it finalizes and collates itself at the end. That is something for the future for Cosmos, but the mechanism is pretty much there to make features like that available, where you can, for instance, distribute each sheet to one individual person, which I think is the answer or the question that you're asking. So batch distribution is something that will come later in the product.
Cool. One from me again. I think you touched on it earlier as well. I think you caught me napping, but what's the difference between a full user and a light user?
Okay, so a full user can actually design the reports in Cosmos themselves, but also you have to be a full user, for instance, to edit the data model. But it might be that you've got users that you want to be able to have designing reports, but you don't want them, let's say, changing the data model. So that's all individually controlled with the user roles. But a light user can basically execute a report. They can add their own filters based on how the report has been built, and then they can use the drill down function. And of course, they can log into the Cosmos portal and they can schedule reports there as well.
Cool. And another question that's just coming: can you automate the report production and send this out?
Yeah, the scheduling is, that's the report scheduling. So you can set a report for a certain day, a certain time to come out, and it's also possible in the design of the reports to make the filters automatic. So you could use, for instance, an Excel function to determine what is my current month. Then you work out the start and the end date of the month, and then you can use the result of that for the filters. So